Welcome back to the channel and to this review of the Hand of Merlin on Nintendo Switch. The Hand of Merlin, released on June 16th, is a tactical turn-based RPG with roguelite elements and was published by Versus Evil and developed by Room-C Games and Croteam. In the Hand of Merlin, you will control a party of 3 heroes as you traverse lands inspired by Arthurian legend on a quest to end the corruption of cosmic horror that is enveloping the world. The overworld is made up of multiple nodes, each with multiple paths leading to your ultimate destination in each of the 4 lands that your journey will take you through. At each node, you will learn more of the story and background of the world through storybook sections that will often give you a choice to make. Depending on the choices you make, you can earn new items, receive healing, or engage in combat. At the start, most of your enemies will be human, such as bandits and cutthroats. But as you progress, you will face more and more of the abominations of corruption. As mentioned in the opening, the Hand of Merlin has roguelite elements. Though unlike many roguelites, you can actually complete the campaign on your first playthrough, as you can level up, gain new equipment, and even heal occasionally during the run. After each playthrough, whether you survive or not, you retain spells and essence gained for your Guardian Cube, and any new Guardians unlocked, and any new characters unlocked through the course of your run. Guardians are the magical beings such as Merlin that guide you on your quest and grant you access to their Guardian Cubes and the spells within them. These spells can be cast using magical crystals gained during your journey, though only a max of 5 can be carried at one time. There are 5 Guardians and 12 heroes in total, though you start with only Merlin as a Guardian and 3 of the heroes, 1 from each class: Warrior, Ranger, and Mystic. Each hero also has a stronger version that can be unlocked through completing specific challenges in the game. Combat takes place on battle maps with various forms of cover spread around it useful for protection from range attacks. Rather than use a percentage hit chance, all attacks are a 100% chance to hit unless the defending unit has an evasion stat greater than 0, which not many do unless buffed. Every unit has an armor bar and a health bar. On your heroes, armor will automatically replenish after each fight, but health does not. This feature creates a slow attrition over time as healing can be hard to come by and costs gold as well. Now, just before we get into the pros and cons and rate the game, please take a second to like the video if you're finding it helpful or entertaining. Also, leave a comment and let me know what other tactical RPGs or RPGs in general you'd like to see covered. I plan on taking a look at both Rise Eterna and Rise of Third Power soon, so if you'd like to see those, consider subscribing and clicking the bell icon so you can be notified when those get uploaded. But with that out of the way, let's get back to the pros and cons of the Hand of Merlin. Now that we know what the Hand of Merlin is, let's talk about what it does well, and then what issues the game has. First up, the theme and storytelling of the game are unique and give you a true sense of despair in a dying medieval world. The mixing of Arthurian legend and cosmic horror has been done really well. Each story bit in the game feels like a page out of a dark fantasy book. Some nodes will have a story involving assaults by abominations that the heroes must help repel, and yet others will involve solving a silly dispute between 2 nobles. And in this disparity of looming danger and ridiculous disputes, the world is brought to life. Next up, we have the consequences of choice. During story segments, you are often given a choice between 2 or 3 options, and even the option to ignore a situation and move on. Depending on what you choose, you get meaningful and different results. Sometimes you'll be offered a chance to ambush an enemy, or be given a choice between healing and a relic or a weapon upgrade. Thankfully, for most choices, you are told what resources you will gain, as surviving to the end of a run has a lot to do with proper resource management. Third on our list of pros is the simplicity and depth of combat. Now those 2 things may seem like opposites, so let me explain. The combat's basic mechanics are easy to pick up on. Barring any status effects, you walk up to an enemy, attack it, and you do damage to its armor equal to your power stat. Once its armor is gone, you will do damage directly to its health. Simple. However, it won't be long, and you'll begin to see different status effects imposed on your characters and on the enemies. This is where the depth comes in. Though once you've looked into what these different status effects do, you will see that the mechanics aren't so complicated. Most effects are easy to understand, like an evasion buff for instance. +4 evasion will give an attack a 40% chance to miss. The weakened effect will reduce the power stat, thus making you or your enemy do less damage. All effects and stats are based on an easy to understand system that retains enough depth to keep each encounter interesting. Replayability is another quick positive mention for this game. Multiple unlockable characters, guardians, and spells, along with a variety of paths that can be taken on the campaign map, can make the game fresh and provide a unique experience through multiple playthroughs. The length of a run is only about 5 to 7 hours also, meaning you can get to the fresh experiences faster without the game feeling like a grind. But if you want to grind, the game features an endless mode unlocked after completing your first run that has you facing an endless onslaught of abominations in battle after battle, with only enough time in between to equip some loot, level up, and jump back into the fray. Finally, the last plus to mention is what I call the attrition system. As mentioned earlier, healing opportunities are far and few in between, and this creates a real sense of a long, arduous journey, as you may, hopefully, only take a few points of health damage in every battle, or every other. But over time, this will wear you down until eventually you lose a character. This attrition also creates difficult choices where you may have to choose between healing your character or buying that shiny new upgrade or visiting a different location to upgrade your magic. As you progress, you come across hero nodes, which if you do not have a full team of 3, will provide you with a new hero. This too can present difficult choices, as you may have the option to visit a healing node to heal the team you have left, or visit the hero node to recruit the new full-strength hero. To give an example of the attrition system, here is a brief description of how my first run went. Halfway into the second land, I lost my ranger in a battle with abominations, but thankfully I was able to quickly replace her with a warrior, as the next node just happened to be a heroic node. However, after entering the third realm, I lost both my first warrior and mystic, and had to fight the next corrupted node with just my second warrior, who had replaced my ranger. Somehow, I was able to win the 6-on-1 fight with my warrior's skills and ability to replenish her own armor. I was then able to reach another heroic node and gained a new mystic. In the final realm, I had to choose between healing my 2 heroes or recruiting a third. I chose to heal them, and eventually prevailed, playing cautiously and strategically with just the 2 heroes, completing the run. With so much good mentioned, does the game have any problems? Well, yes, there are a couple worth mentioning. First off, the UI on the Switch version is a little difficult to adjust to and understand. While the game does have some decent tutorials to lead you around the UI, the actual UI is not very intuitive. Rather than highlighting different UI sections with a pointer or the directional controls, you access each section by pressing a button and then using the left stick to navigate, sometimes pressing another button to get details on a selection. It took me a little time to adjust and learn the system, but once I did, I didn't have any trouble accessing what I wanted. Thankfully, the battle UI is simpler, and once you have the overworld UI down, the battle UI won't present any troubles. I wouldn't say that this issue is game-breaking, but be prepared to take a few minutes to learn the UI if you decide to play this one. The only other major issue worth mentioning would be the enemy variety. While there is a good variety in how you deal with enemies, the actual enemy variety itself is a little lacking. There are only 8 varieties of abominations and about the same or less of human foes. On a single run, this doesn't really become an issue, but may become an issue after multiple playthroughs. Facing these enemies in different combinations does help to add some variety though. So, after a look at the pros and cons, what are my thoughts and recommendations on the Hand of Merlin on the Switch? Overall, this indie title is well done and unique. I enjoyed the simple depth of the combat and gameplay, and the great storytelling, both environmental and written. If you can overcome the initial bump with the UI, this is a great game to easily sink anywhere from 8 hours in just to complete one playthrough, or over 30 or 40 hours trying to unlock everything in the game. This is also a good title to play on the go, as you can hit a couple nodes and do a battle in just a few minutes, and the text size is good and readable even in handheld mode. This will be the first title in my new simplified scoring system of buy it, wait for sale, or avoid. The Hand of Merlin scores as a buy it. For $30 on the eShop, this one pulls its weight. If you'd like to see more of my content, you can tap this video here, and as always, thank you for watching, and keep on gaming.